Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and Beer.
And beer.
Yes.
Just two crazy Florida men drinking beer and talking about true crime. That's Todd.
And that's Bill.
And I'm drinking Bud Light.
I'm drinking Coors Light.
All right.
But don't worry, everybody. Powder Blue will make a return one of these days.
So, but okay, you're just in a beer phase right now, which is fine because I'm like constantly in a beer phase. In fact, in fact, when I was doing those the episodes when I was drinking vodka and stuff, somebody probably should have done a wellness check on me.
Yeah, I got rummed out, so I'm back to beer.
Anyway, tonight we're covering a case that I've wanted to cover for a long time, and it just never happened. And I've mentioned this douchebag on on several episodes over the course of the podcast history. And well, here it is. We're covering Jerry Brudos.
We finally got to it.
Yeah, the shoe fat. I honestly think that there were probably several episodes before you left where I had mentioned Jerry Brudos. I think there were. I know there was at least 2 or 3 when Paul was with us.
Right.
So yeah, he's come up a lot in just random discussion. So it's just like, okay, fine. Time to give him his own episode. And it's crazy because this story, if we released it on April 1st, if people weren't familiar with the story and we released it on April 1st, they would think that we were doing another April Fool's Day prank.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we did a year before TimeSec did theirs. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Dust Bowl Killer, episode 50. Todd was a part of that.
Yeah. I had to be, otherwise I'd be like, what?
No, I meant you were on the show for that one.
Oh yeah, but you still told me what it was.
Right.
Sort of.
So, well,
anyway.
You had the script. I think that's like the only episode that we've ever done where you actually had the script in front of you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm not big on reading a whole lot, so
But before we get started, I got got a little bit of housework to do. A couple shout outs. Just a little. There's not going to be much. Not going to be much digression on this one because it's a long one. It didn't make sense to make this a 2-part episode.
Yeah,
so,
he says that now.
Yeah. 2 hours later, we're on page 7. But no,
dude, it better not go that way.
No, it won't. But anyway, before we got started tonight, I made a little. I found a picture of a woman's stiletto shoe, and I put a caption on it that said, "We told you what our next episode was on the current one, but if you haven't heard it yet, why the hell haven't you?" Anyway, here's a clue to the next one, and it's the stiletto high heel shoe. Shout out the 1-0 podcast. They commented on it and said, "Man, I wish more people would tell the true story of Cinderella. Thanks so much for bringing this to light."
Oh yeah, it's great. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. And she like literally just, well, they I don't know if,
Right.
I've never actually heard that podcast. I'm gonna have to check them out now because, but I'm always looking for new podcasts to listen to. But so yeah, the 1-0 podcast.
1-0. Okay.
Definitely gotta check them. WON nothing. Another thing I need to shout out is Murder Coaster, because they did they put together like a 4-act audio play, which was the interrogation of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh.
And I was I played a part in that, and it's
Right
up
on.
on their feed. It's really good.
Hell yeah.
And just for shits and giggles, I'm going to give a shout out to the Brohio podcast too.
Yay, Ohio.
Their current episode at the time that we're recording this is called "The Death of Sylvia Likens," which is the Gertrude Baniszewski case, which is horrible. But
Okay.
that's the one that broke you, Todd.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
See, I try to forget those things.
I don't blame you. That was horrible. But
Yes, that was.
but on their episodes they find a funny little news story, and before they start, and the one that they had, all I'm going to say is definitely check out that episode and listen to their funny news story.
Okay.
It is freaking hilarious, and it's like there was this guy who had robbed a pet store and like set a bunch of animals free. And then they found him. They knew who it was, and when they found him, there's video cam footage of them. His name, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Pancake.
Pancake? Really?
Yeah. So it's just like, so they're totally hamming it up because they know they're recording themselves. All right, Mr. Pancake, get up. You're under arrest. Get up, Mr. Pancake, in the name of the law. Just fucking. I heard it yesterday morning, and I was dying. I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna find that and do it because that would be stealing their gimmick. But I will give them a shout out and tell people to go to their podcast and listen to it. 'Cause that's the funniest thing I've heard in a long time because they were totally hamming it up just because of the guy's last name.
Because of his last name. Yeah, that's crazy. How do you get a last name Pancake, man?
I don't know.
Change my name to Pancake.
But anyway.
Or maybe Flapjack. Flapjack might be better.
Toddzilla Flapjack.
Yep. That's it.
Anyway, I have no more ado. Do you?
I have no ado.
Might want to see a doctor for that.
I'll remember that.
Anyway,
It's on now.
let's get going. Jerome Henry Brudos was a serial killer and necrophile, and he killed 4 women in Salem, Oregon, or Salem and Portland, where he lived between 1968 and 1969. He also attempted to kidnap 2 other women. His murders were either done in his car, and his car would be in his driveway, or in the garages of the 2 houses that he owned, like through the course of this.
Mm-hmm.
He was known as the Lust Killer and the Shoe Fetish Slayer. Man loved his shoes. Well, not his shoes. Women's shoes.
Women's shoes. Maybe he wanted them to be his shoes. Or did I get ahead of myself?
No, not really. You're kind of onto something there. A little bit.
All right. Spoiler alert.
He was part of the inspiration for the Buffalo Bill character in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the other half was obviously Ed Gein.
Oh. So I guess he'd fuck himself then? Whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
From Buffalo Bill. I'd fuck me.
Mm-hmm. No,
Anyway, moving on.
I don't think he would fuck himself. No, but they're talking about the.
Was he
like
trying
the
to
cross,
make a skin suit?
The cross. That's Ed Gein.
Okay.
He's talking about the cross dressing and all that stuff.
All right.
So that was where the Jerry Brudos part comes in, and also he was arrested in 1969. And he would have been one of the more notorious serial killers, like up there with, Bundy, Kemper, and all that stuff. The heavy hitters. But shortly after he was arrested, the Manson murders took place.
Oh, so yeah, he just kind of got pushed by the wayside.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, you're not important anymore.
No. So pretty much, I mean, the true crime community knows this guy, but pretty much anybody outside the true crime community doesn't really know anything about him. So
I never heard of him. But then again, I've never heard of half of these things we talk about. So hey.
But if Edmund Kemper and BTK were to have a son, it would be Jerry Brudos.
All right.
He had major issues in childhood because his mother, well, he was an accident. He was an accident. They already had a son, which we're going to get to. I'm just going to get. I didn't have this written in the notes, but he was a surprise, and they didn't want to have another kid, but I don't know, shit happens. But his mother, Eileen, was like, okay, well, since I've already got a son, I want a daughter.
Oh no.
She really had her heart set on having a daughter. But when Jerry came out and there was a meat whistle in her, between his legs, she got really pissed off, and she literally hated Jerry for being a boy, like for the rest of his life.
Wow.
Like, you were supposed to be a girl. So he would stalk most of his victims before killing them, and that is not true. I don't know why I had that in the notes. He didn't stalk anybody.
Something else?
I guess I was, but because he didn't stalk anybody, he was like an opportunist. I mean, just like he saw somebody he liked, bam, they were the one.
Right.
Well, maybe maybe I typed that and I was just like, thinking about what he did like as a teenager, because there was a little bit of stalking involved there. Maybe that's where I was going with that. But as an adult, as an actual serial killer, he didn't stalk anybody.
No stalking.
Yeah, for maybe like 5 minutes before he pounced. That's it.
Quick stalk.
So, yeah. All 4 of his victims were strangled, and he loved taking pictures of his victims before and after. He also liked to sever body parts, including breasts and feet.
Ugh.
He had a major foot fetish with women's feet, which started as a kid. He started his
It's easy for you to say.
No, it's not. He started his criminal career as a kid stealing women's high-heel shoes and panties, which later escalated to assault and then to murder.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, and
He went from... Wow. Okay.
well, his murder spree was only like a year long, and he was approaching 30 at that point when he started.
Oh, well, okay. Then it didn't escalate that quickly then.
It escalated gradually.
Yes.
Jerry Brudos was born January 31st, 1939 in Webster, South Dakota to Maria Eileen and Henry Brudos. He had an older brother named Larry, but as far as Eileen was concerned, like I was saying a minute ago, Jerry was supposed to be a daughter. She resented Jerry for this, and she tormented him for it, all while doting on Larry.
Is there another brother, Larry?
No.
Sorry,
There's not
I
a
had
Daryl either. But
well, you know
I gotta wonder if Jerry had been a daughter, would she have turned on Larry and then doted on Jerry, or would it have just been a happy family? I don't know. But she's she's a beast of a woman. She's like Ed Kemper's mother. She's like Willie Picton's mother.
Right.
I mean, yeah, she's not as bad as either one of them, but she's in the same conversation.
All right. So she's a piece of work.
Yeah. Her husband, Henry, he was afraid of her. Yeah, she was taller and bigger than his meager stature of 5'4", and he did whatever the hell she wanted because he was afraid of her. And
Okay. I see that.
apparently she wanted to raise a serial killer.
Yeah.
But his father, Henry, he couldn't keep a job, so they moved around a lot, but put a knife in that. Primary source is the book Lust Killer by Ann Rule, with a little bit of wiki to get me started, and a little whatever. A little bit of wiki. Most podcasts that cover this, the primary source, the only source, is Lust Killer by Ann Rule. That's like the go-to book. She's got several other titles out too. I'm gonna start, using her in the future. That didn't come out right.
That didn't come out right at all. You start doing that, you're going to be a topic of a podcast.
I'm going to start using her books as source material for future subjects. There we go.
There you go. That's better. Oh, my land.
Damn. There's one thing about There's one thing about Eileen that Jerry wanted everybody to know. Eileen never wore high heels. She didn't.
Okay.
That came up in his interrogation like many times. My mom never wore high heels.
Okay.
But they moved from Webster, where they had a farm that wasn't doing too well, to Portland, Oregon during World War II. Work was easy to find there, and they could have gone from struggling to being comfortable, but that didn't happen. Henry apparently didn't have a good work ethic.
Oh. Lazy, huh?
Yeah. But I don't know how good my work ethic would be if I had, a monster woman at home, just like terrifying me and all that stuff. Actually, yeah, I do. My work ethic would be good because I have a good work ethic. I was raised that way.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. And no psychotic freaking redhead woman. Oops.
I wasn't gonna mention names, but I was just gonna say
I didn't mention a name.
Yeah, you have.
No.
Anyway,
But one day at 5 years old, Jerry was on one of his usual adventures around town. He was allowed to go out and, just basically run the town, do whatever he wanted to do because his mom didn't give a shit about him.
yeah. Oh, so he had no be home by the streetlights or anything?
No, well, he's not Gen X. He was born.
Well, they
what
had
did I say? 1939.
Oh, he was. Wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Yep. Never mind.
Yeah, Jerry was born in 39. But he was in a junkyard and everything, exploring. Yeah, I gotta admit, when I was 5 years old, if there was a junkyard near me, I probably would have gone exploring too.
Yeah, I think I would have wandered around.
Yeah. But he found something that would change his life forever.
Uh-oh.
He found a pair of women's high-heeled shoes, and they fascinated him. They were made of leather. They had rhinestones in them. Shiny.
Shiny.
I think that's the first Firefly reference we've had.
Yeah.
He brought them home, and he was trying to make Eileen laugh, and he put them on, and he walked around in front of her, and she flipped out and told him that he was evil. But
Isn't she the one who wanted to be a girl?
exactly, that's where. Yeah, I mean, she wanted a daughter.
Why would that? Why would that be? Why would that make her mad? He's trying to be what she wanted.
If this story takes place today, Jerry doesn't become a serial killer.
Yeah, right.
She told him to take the shoes back where he found them, but he didn't. He hid them. But she later found them. She caught him wearing them. And hell hath no fury like a woman to. I got nothing.
I got nothing. Yeah.
Flipped out even worse than before because Jerry had defied her. But she burned the shoes and made Jerry watch, and then she grounded Jerry for a long time.
A long time. How long?
It didn't say. It didn't say how long. I'm saying probably a couple months, but whatever.
Right.
When he was finally released from restriction, he met an older woman who he took to, and she took to him. She was kind to him. They became friends, kind of like a motherly figure. He liked her more than Eileen, and he spent lots of time with her.
Okay.
He had another friend, a girl his age, and they were really close as well. But she died of tuberculosis.
Oh.
He mourned her death for a long time. And his older friend consoled him, but later that same year, she died of diabetes complications.
Damn.
Yeah. Later in life, he wouldn't talk about one without bringing up the other, and then tying it to the shoes.
Okay.
He wouldn't talk about the little girl without talking about the older woman and shoes and vice versa and all that stuff, because his mom flipping out about the shoes really fucked with his head.
Yeah, I would imagine so. That's fucked up.
So in 1 year, he had lost his precious shoes, and he had also lost the two most important people in his life, and he's only 5 years old, and his mom hates him. So
This
is one of those. This is one of those where you feel bad for the kid.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, God, that sucks, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to. Yeah. It's just. Yeah. What I've just described is hell, but there's more coming before he starts going crazy. It's just you just want to, just like you said in the last episode, where the hell's children and families services when you need them?
Right.
But then again, I mean, Jerry wasn't being abused, though. He was being emotionally abused.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He wasn't being, physically abused, but...
Right. He was being emotionally abused big time. But by the time he was in first grade, they had moved to Riverton, California. He had been getting in trouble for stealing girls' shoes, and they were erotic to him. I mean, keep in mind, he's only 5, 6, 7 years old or whatever, but they made him feel funny. That's how he explained it. He didn't know what it was. There was something about women's shoes that just, he's a kid. He doesn't understand. He doesn't feel anything down there, but he might get butterflies in his stomach. You know what I mean?
Sure. I got you.
Yeah. But one time some family friends came over and they had a teenage daughter, and she wasn't feeling good, so she decided she wanted to take a nap. And they're like, okay, we'll go sleep in one of the boys' room. Like, okay. But she didn't take her shoes off. Those sexy shoes. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, we're talking about kids here. Don't say it like that, man.
No, I'm describing what was going on in Jerry's mind, because he walked in, he'd looked in at her, and he saw her 1 foot peeking out from underneath the cover, and he sees that freaking sexy shoe there. He's like, "Oh my God, I gotta have the shoe! I want the shoe! I want the shoe! Give me the shoe! Get in my." I got nothing.
I got nothing. It was going somewhere, but I forgot. Yeah. Oh man. Oh jeez. All right.
He tried to take them off of her feet, but she woke up and she screamed at him, and of course that got him in really big trouble with Eileen.
You think? All right.
Never mind. I was going to make a Dexy's Midnight Runners reference, but I decided not to.
That's probably best.
Because nobody wants to do that.
Oh, I've been wanting to. I've been thinking about it since you said her name.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Good for you.
But you can look it up.
If you don't get it, you don't have dirty minds like we do.
Yeah, look up the band name Dexy's Midnight Runners, and you'll understand completely. You know it, you just don't realize that you do.
You know it.
This shoe fixation was setting in on Jerry pre-puberty. He didn't know, like I said before, he didn't know what was going on, but he didn't know anything about sex. Like when they were living on the farm in Webster, he had seen animals do it, but that's all he knew. I mean, he didn't think that there was anything sexy or arousing about it. You know, there's definitely nothing sexy and arousing about watching cows fuck.
Well, yeah, you got a point there.
Unless it's in Mexico and it's a donkey with a woman.
Yeah. You know, get out of my head, man. Because, yeah, that's the first thing I thought of, too.
Want to see the donkey show?
Yes,
remember that Saturday Night Live skit? That Saturday Night Live skit?
Yeah. Apparently, due to an error in nomenclature.
Oh, man. But the shoes were something different, though. He was likely confused, not knowing why they made him feel this way. As far as he was concerned, he couldn't figure out why everybody freaked out about him liking shoes.
I don't get that either.
It's just shoes. It's just shoes.
It's harmless.
Shoes. And you know what? All these people flipping out about his mom, that girl, everybody flipping out about it is, you know, it just stigmatized it to him, which made him subconsciously want to do it even more.
Yeah.
They contributed to his fetish.
Yeah. I mean, geez, how old is he? 5, 6, somewhere in there?
I think he's like 7 at this point.
7? Well, you know, it's any kid. You don't tell a kid not to, when you tell a kid not to do something, that's the first thing they want to go do.
Yeah, and especially if you got your mom telling you, "Oh, I wish you had been a girl."
Exactly. He's just trying to make his mom happy.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
But then I try and you're like, ah!
It makes her madder.
Yeah.
Poor kid, never stood a chance.
Nope. His first grade teacher was a pretty woman who kept a pair of high-heeled shoes in her desk in case she had a date or something after school.
Because teachers do that.
I don't know.
Well, see, dude, when I went to school, all my teachers were like, and this is not because I was young. I mean, they were old. There's no way they had a date after school.
I don't know. But in high school, though, I don't know. We both know somebody who, as a junior in high school, hooked up with a teacher, and they were together for several years. We both know somebody. And I'm not going to drop names or anything like that, but
all right. But none of my teachers, like me personally, in my classes that I had, none of my teachers were.
Her first grade teacher was a pretty woman who kept a pair of high-heeled shoes in her desk in case she got a date after school. and those shoes were beckoning Jerry like a siren at sea, luring sailors to their demise. Jerry waited until the time was right, and like a ninja, he stole the shoes out of her desk.
Like a ninja.
But the heist wasn't yet complete. He had to get them out of the building. He hid them under the blocks in the play area and planned to take them home with him, but another kid found them. Foiled!
Foiled. Damn it, man.
A couple days later, he admitted that it was him who stole the shoes, and the teacher wasn't even mad. She was just confused. She's like, why'd you take my shoes? He got embarrassed, ran out of the classroom. And, of course, Eileen was a lot more pissed off about it than the teacher was.
Of course. Oh, man. All right.
Jerry failed second grade, and the family moved to Grants Pass, Oregon. His neighbors had 4 kids, 3 girls, 1 boy. The boy was about Jerry's age, and Jerry became friends with the boys, and they would sneak into the girls' room where his fetish escalated from shoes to panties and bras.
Yep. Saw that coming.
They would play with them and everything. And I gotta think that Jerry was probably the ringleader in this. I don't think it was the other kid.
Yeah, I would I agree with you on that.
Yeah. But the other kid probably thought, oh, I'm just playing with my sister's panties or whatever. But
He probably didn't think anything of it.
yeah, he probably didn't. But the soft cloth on the panties made him purr as much as the shoes did.
All right, then.
Am I making you uncomfortable?
Nah.
Damn, I'm going to have to try harder.
Yeah, if you want to.
1952, they moved again to Wallace Pond, Oregon, near Salem. Henry won another crack at running a farm, which had the same results as before. Like
Yeah.
Carl Panzram's dad.
Due to his poor work ethic.
Yeah. But by now, Larry was 16, and by now Larry, not Jerry, but Larry was 16 years old, and he had a box full of pinups and sexy drawings that he had drawn of Lois Lane naked. Yeah, he kept it locked, and Jerry found it, and he got into it. He picked the lock,
Pick the lock, huh?
But Eileen walked in on Jerry with the pictures, and he got in trouble for it.
Of course.
Jerry Brudos was a lot of things, but a snitch wasn't one of them.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he took the punishment, didn't say one word about Larry, but the damage was done. Jerry was now realizing that not just the clothes and shoes turned him on. The women wearing them did too.
Yep. It's bound to happen sooner or later.
Yeah. Age 16, he had his first wet dream.
All right.
And Eileen punished him for it and made him clean the sheets by hand while screeching at him, "You're evil for doing that! You're just an evil little boy!"
All right.
You know what? If you have a wet dream, it just means you need to jerk off more. But put a knife in that. Just like that, Jerry's hatred of women started or escalated. He began crafting fantasies for revenge against women. Specifically, Eileen. He was dreaming up ways that he would kill her. He hated his mom, and you know what? I don't blame him.
Yeah. You can't really.
No. He even started digging a tunnel. It just gets worse too. He even started digging a tunnel in the side of a hill on the farm. He wanted to get a girl into that tunnel and make her do whatever he wanted to do. But he was a virgin who hadn't even seen a porn magazine. It's like he didn't know. I mean, all he'd seen is these clippings from like the Sears catalog and these drawings that his brother had made.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't know exactly what he would do with a woman if he was able to get one. But he just knew that he wanted to get one, and it's just the thought of the girl screaming, not wanting to be there, that excited him.
All right.
He continued to steal women's shoes and clothes and managed to keep them hidden from his mother. But once again, he wants you to know that he never stole his mother's clothes or tried them on.
Right.
He wants you to know that he had no attraction whatsoever to his mother. Ed Kemper didn't either. But anyway. We haven't done Ed Kemper.
And neither did Norman Bates, but you know. Even though Norman Bates wasn't real, but you know.
But Jerry started learning about electronics and sex. Not at the same time, though. In fact, at age 17, his only ejaculations had come from the wet dreams. He couldn't even climax by jerking it off, and he still had never seen a naked woman.
Wow.
Or even an actual picture of a naked woman, which is freaking crazy.
Yeah, right? Well, you know, there wasn't internet back then. That shit's wasn't as accessible as it is these days.
No, but he's 17 years old and he can't even come by jerking off?
And you don't know what's going on in his head.
Jerry Brudos was a lot of things, but a criminal mastermind was not one of them.
All right.
He decided that he had to see a real naked woman, and he came up with a plan. There's an 18-year-old girl whose underwear he had stolen from her room when nobody was home at her place. He walked up to her and he asked her, "Hey, do you have some underwear that got stolen?" And she's like, "Yeah. How do you know?" Jerry Brudos said that he was working for the police undercover, and it was secret because nobody expects a 17-year-old to be a cop.
Yeah. All right.
He told her that there was an underwear thief in the neighborhood, and it was his job to bring this deviant to justice.
This is real, right? You're not making this up?
This is real. I swear to God, this is real. That's why I said that if we have released this on April 1st, people would think, if they weren't familiar with the story, they would think that it was an April Fool's Day prank.
I still think it is.
No, it's not. I swear to God. You know me.
I know. But I mean, like, seriously. Okay.
If I'm making something up, I own up to it. I swear to God, I am not making this up.
Okay, go on.
So the girl was skeptical, and she wasn't afraid of him. But in her mind, she's like, okay, this clown does know something, and she wanted her stuff back. So she played along. He invited her to his place when conveniently his parents were not home and Larry wasn't home. And when she knocked on the door, he yelled for her to come in and come upstairs. If he's an undercover cop, why is this taking place at his house and not at the police station? But
yeah.
So the girl went upstairs and into his room, and it was dark and she couldn't see very well. But suddenly a masked man jumped out of her at her, waving a knife, told her to take off her clothes or take off your clothes or I'll cut you. He pressed the knife against her throat. The girl wasn't stupid. She knew it was Jerry in disguise, and not a very good disguise at that. But she did as she was told, and she stripped naked. Jerry broke out a camera and began taking pictures of her. He told her how to pose, and took nude and semi-nude pictures of her. And when the roll of film was full, he took the camera and he hauled ass out of the room, leaving the girl alone.
In his house.
In his house. She began putting her clothes back on, and as quickly, let me start that over again. She began putting her clothes back on as quickly as she could, but then Jerry, without the mask, dashed into the room. He's breathing heavy. He's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? I was out in the barn, and somebody in a mask ran up and locked me inside, and I just now managed to break off, and he ran out into the woods. I just saw him." Have you seen anything? Did you see anything?
Wow.
Well, yes, Jerry. I saw a man who looked exactly like you, wearing the exact same clothes as you, as well as a mask. Wow, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't say that. She just took off and ran home. But Jerry thought that he had committed the perfect crime, and he developed the pictures. And finally, he knew what a real naked woman looked like. But he had done everything so quickly he didn't even have enough time to get aroused. And later, he's just like, "I didn't think that things would look like that." Talking about her junk.
Okay.
Did you think it would look like that the first time you saw one? Like in front of you?
Of course.
Well, yeah, because you'd seen
what else
porn.
it going to look like?
But anyway. Later, the girl told the police that she knew it was that idiot Jerry, and she didn't buy his hero story. She hadn't reported it because she was scared that if she had, he would have come back and killed her, or hurt her or something.
Right.
But Jerry was high on the thrill of getting away with the perfect crime. He was a super villain in the making. You can't stop big bad Brudos.
Yep. Why not? Can't stop him.
But in April of 1956, Jerry came up with another plan.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't a good one.
Yeah, well,
just like his
first
previous
plan wasn't
one.
that good.
Yeah, but it was a plan.
It was a plan, that's for sure.
It was a plan, yeah. He lured a 17-year-old girl who was waiting for a ride into her car, or into his car, promising her a ride. She got in, and then he immediately started talking with her like they were on a date together.
Oh.
She was confused and scared. This was just supposed to be a quick ride. I mean, she only lived like a few miles away from where he picked her up at.
Right.
But Jerry just drove faster and away from town onto back roads. He pulled into a driveway of a deserted farmhouse. They were literally in the middle of nowhere, and it's likely that Jerry had found this place earlier and scoped it out and decided that it would be right for his plan. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Were they in a camper van?
No. No. No camper vans on this one. But
right,
Jerry dragged her out of the car and started beating her face and chest, and she was bloody, and he ordered her to strip because he wanted to see her naked. "I want to see you naked."
Yeah.
She was fighting, and Jerry was out of shape. He was fat, so he was getting winded. "Will you stop fighting, please? I just want to see you naked. Stop dodging my punches." No. But he fucked her up pretty bad. But luckily for the girl, a couple happened to be driving by at that moment, and they saw Jerry standing over the girl who was not naked. Thank God. They rushed over to her, and Jerry just put out, "She fell out of the car. She's just hysterical because you scared her."
She fell out of the car.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I don't, he does not improvise well.
No.
He does not improvise well at all.
Now, and he has a bad case of the word vomit too, but put a knife in that.
Yeah.
I like it. The girl tried to talk, but her mouth was swollen so bad that she couldn't speak. So she just started shaking her head rapidly. The couple wasn't buying it, so Jerry said, "Well, we're really happy when some weirdo attacked her. I was driving by and I stopped to help her, and he took off."
Okay.
Yeah, well, he was half right. Some
Yeah,
weirdo did attack her.
Yes, that's true. Oh, fuck.
Okay, you don't like this guy anymore, do you?
No, not now.
No.
I mean, I knew the point was going to come, but I just.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It's pretty early too.
it is early. That's what's I didn't expect.
Yeah, but the couple still wasn't buying it, and they insisted on taking the girl and Jerry back to their place where they would call police. And Jerry went without protest, which is that's just it's just all right. You're coming back with us, okay? You know.
Well, he's probably got in his mind now he's going to see two girls naked. Maybe, I don't know.
No.
More shoes and underwears. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe you thought, like, I'll get out of this, and while I'm at it, I'll steal this woman's underwear.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was his thought at that point in time.
But he said that he just wanted to scare her enough so that she would take her clothes off for him, so that he could take pictures of her. And he swore that he had never done anything like that before, and he had just lost his temper. Ribbit. I knew you'd like that.
Yeah. Dude, that's making me want to watch Hell Goes to Frogtown, or Comes to Frogtown now.
Put a knife in that. Oh my God.
Yeah. We're idiots. Anyway.
But police searched his car. They found like his camera equipment. He had a rig. He found his whole rig.
All right.
So they're like, okay. He says that he wanted to take pictures of her, but he's got this whole freaking rig. Yeah, he planned this.
Oh yeah. He was going to set it up. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. The girl was treated at the hospital. Police searched Jerry's room. Fucking autocorrect, man. Why would autocorrect correct Jerry to Gary?
I don't know.
I know I did not type Gary. I have too much respect for a man named Gary to accidentally put Jerry. Police searched Jerry's room and found all of his sticky photos of the other girl, as well as like women's shoes and clothes, even women's lingerie pages from clothing catalog. They asked him about it, and he said that he had developed those pictures for a friend who was going to fry his legs up and dip them in hot sauce and eat them if he didn't do it. Ribbit. Nah. He says, I developed these for a friend of mine. You know, he said that he was going to beat me up if I didn't develop them for him.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Jerry was arrested. Police began looking into his past, and Eileen obviously was furious. And this is where Jerry's first victim came forward. The girl that The attacker who mysteriously was dressed just like him minus the mask. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She came forward. Jerry was put into Oregon State Hospital for treatment and evaluation. Jerry tried to make the doctors think that he was normal. He didn't like to fight. He didn't smoke or drink. He led a clean life other than having to clean his bed sheets a couple times a week from all of his wet dreams. And he even told them, he's like, I'm a virgin.
Okay.
So, the doctor said that Jerry had adjustment reaction of adolescence with sexual deviation and fetishism, which means that basically he was a couple sandwiches shy of a picnic.
All right.
He was admitted there full time, but he was allowed to go to school, his regular high school, under the Pinky Promise Release Program.
Wow, Jesus.
No, this time it actually worked. Although I'm sure he was dropped off and picked back up.
Okay.
But it was still the Pinky Promise Release Program.
Yeah, we know how well that works.
There's a T-shirt there, too.
Yeah, there's definitely a T-shirt there.
The Pinky Promise Release Program.
Yeah.
Jerry was smart. Yeah, he was really smart. I mean, when he got caught and analyzed and everything, it was determined that he had an above average IQ. But he was also forgettable. And when he was arrested for his murder, some classmates were interviewed about him. Nobody remembered him. One of his lawyers was even in the same, like a same class in high school as Jerry, and he didn't even remember him. He didn't make that connection until like later on.
Wow.
Like, holy shit, I was in high school with this dude.
Yeah, that would be me.
Now everybody remembers Toddzilla.
I wasn't Toddzilla then. I was just Todd.
Oh.
I didn't become Toddzilla till like 2000.
But while on the Pinky Promise release program, Jerry still lusted after the pretty girls. But he wasn't making it obvious. He kept it to himself, but he was later diagnosed as being borderline schizophrenic.
Oh. Okay.
He was at the hospital for just under a year, and when he came home, everything was normal and running smoothly. His family hadn't even missed him.
Wow. Damn. That sucks.
When he was released from the hospital, he was basically told, "Grow up, kid, and good luck." But he was brilliant with electronics at this point. And his high school teachers, even, they called him, he's brilliant and lazy.
So he's Peter Parker?
Lazier.
Toby's Peter Parker.
Lazier.
Okay.
He decided he wanted to get an FCC license so he could get work at a radio station. He did graduate high school, 142nd of 202.
Well, not completely at the bottom, but...
Yeah.
That's about where I was, I'm sure. My senior year was a joke, but anyway.
But the thing... Well, hold on. You're a pretty smart guy. I'm pretty sure you have a IQ that's higher than average. Something you want to tell us? You like shoes?
No comment.
Oh, man.
That's two.
Damn. We had to take a break, and you still haven't forgotten that first one.
Nope.
Oh, boy. He got into technical school, and in 1959 he joined the U.S. Army. He joined the Signal Corps, And he did well with it. I mean, he achieved the rank of E2 and pretty quickly until his obsessions came back to get him. Jerry Brudos was a lot of things, but a peaceful sleeper was not one of them.
Maybe he should have gone to the Navy.
he got convinced that a Korean girl had come and he wasn't stationed in Korea. He was convinced that a Korean girl had come into the barracks one night, crawled into his bed, and tried to seduce him. And he didn't want her, and he beat her badly. And she came to him several times, and he couldn't understand why the people in the barracks room with him didn't see her. They started making fun of him, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But he finally accepted it was just a dream, but he went to the chaplain, told him about it, who sent him to an army psychiatrist. He was saying that he was worried because even though she wasn't real, he hated her and wanted to kill her.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely gone off the end.
He's a couple beers short of a six-pack.
Uh-huh.
Which is what
5.
I was a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you were.
Yeah. But October 1959, Jerry was discharged from the Army. And he was disappointed, thinking it wasn't fair that he was discharged for such a minor thing. But that's not exactly minor.
No.
I mean, what if they were in the trenches at war and he thought one of his friends was that Korean woman?
Exactly. Wait.
Yeah.
When was the Korea? When was that? Was that in the 50s?
The Korean War?
Yeah.
I think it either hadn't started yet. No, it hadn't started yet because if he was, he would have been shipped to the front lines.
Yeah.
Before,
well, maybe
before
it was looming, and that's why he was having that dream.
It was looming. Yeah, maybe because saber rattling and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get shipped over there. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what crazy people think?
So he went back home. He was given the second room in his parents' 2-bedroom house. Larry was off to college, but when Larry came home from college, Jerry was made to sleep in a shed out back.
Poor guy. I mean, I don't feel sorry for him, but poor guy.
Yeah. This made him angry. And he hated Eileen even more now. So he blacked out the windows and in the shed, and he made a shoe and panty shrine.
Yeah, okay.
One evening, Jerry was out. Yeah. One evening, Jerry was out running errands, and he spotted a pretty woman wearing a red dress. He followed her all the way back to her apartment. She didn't realize that he was there until he literally was walking through her apartment door. She was scared, but before she could scream, Jerry pounced and started choking her. She slumped to the floor unconscious. And I've got a multiple choice question here for you, Todd.
Okay.
What did Jerry do? 1, panic and run away. B, steal her shoes and run away. 3, rape her, finally losing his virginity, steal her shoes and run away. Or D, kill her, rape her, steal her shoes and run away.
D.
Nah, it was B. It was
B.
He just stole her shoes and ran away.
She was lucky. Her shoes and ran away. Well,
yeah,
right.
she was lucky. You didn't. I'm disappointed, man. You didn't say anything about my numbering system.
I know. I caught it. I was gonna say something, but I was gonna let you finish because I wanted to see where else you were gonna go with it.
Note to self: don't do that again. Because it didn't work.
No, it worked. I mean, I was, like I said, I was going to say something, but anyway. That was good, yeah. 1, B, 3, D, yeah.
Shortly later,
there it is.
he did it again, choking a woman. But this woman fought him, and he only managed to get one chew.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he ran back to his shed that night, and he went night-night, and he was stroking and sniffing and caressing the shoe and until he fell asleep. It was like a little teddy bear shoe.
Okay.
This reinvigorated
dude, you're trying to make this weird, aren't you?
I'm taking a little bit of license on this, but not much. Not much at all.
All right.
So this reinvigorated Jerry. He had his mojo. And these shoe attacks gave him enough balls to deal with his nemesis, Eileen, his mother. But he never did anything to his mother.
Well.
But he did get his FCC license.
Okay.
He lied in his interview, but he was hired anyway, and he faked it until he made it. He was an operating engineer, which is probably a good thing because I couldn't imagine him as a DJ. Coming up on WFRG The Frog, first we have the King, Elvis Presley, and his song Blue Suede Shoes. Then we've got If the Shoe Fits by Waylon Jennings. And after that, we've got a hot new single tearing up the charts coming up. Willie Grant Still and Froggy Went a Courtin'. Keep it right here.
Oh, fuck you, man. Froggy went a courtin'.
Keep it right here on AM 1350 WFRG. The Frog. Ribbit.
Ribbit. Surprised you didn't throw in these boots were made for walking.
That'd be too obvious.
Yeah, it is a bit on the nose, isn't it? Anyway. The Frog. All right. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made a good DJ.
Nah.
But he was in his 20s now, 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. Apparently, he had lost some weight at that point because 6 feet, 180, that's not...
That's pretty slim.
Yeah. I mean, I was 6'3", 190, and like a mutual friend of ours said, it's just like, you know, during that time when I was like 18, 19 years old, it's like if you lose any more weight, you'll fall through your asshole and hang yourself. But
you have to jump around in the shower to get wet.
yeah. But, yeah, he had lost some weight, but that won't last long. He was still a virgin. He had a beater of a car, and he was single and he was ready to mingle. He wanted a woman that was drop dead gorgeous, who would submit to him sexually whenever he wanted. She would be totally committed to him, and he would keep her away from the rest of the world, sheltered. She would be his...
Yeah, that'll happen.
It did.
It did?
She would, for a while, yeah. She would be his property, and she would like it.
Well, kidnapping a girl and chaining her to the wall is not finding a girl that agrees to all this shit.
Hold on. The story keeps getting weirder until it turns like absolutely horrific.
I know, that's why I'm trying to guess like weird shit, but yeah.
Go way off. And I guarantee you would never be able in a million years to guess what happens next. Yeah, he does get what he wants, but how it happens?
Okay.
Jerry was 23 years old, and he would meet this woman. He didn't meet her in the wild. He didn't meet her off the classifieds in the newspaper. What happened was there was this 10-year-old kid he would come into the radio station and watch Jerry work the controls. And he was doing this a lot. And I don't know if he was the son of somebody that worked there or not, but he was always there. He was always bugging Jerry. He liked Jerry for some reason.
Okay.
Jerry one day asked the kid if he knew of any girls that Jerry could date. He's asking a 10-year-old to hook him up.
Yeah.
So the kid actually knew somebody. So he brought 17-year-old Darcy Metzler to meet him. And love was in the air. Kind of. Kind of. Yeah. Darcy would sooner rather than later regret rushing into a relationship with Jerry. She was a really pretty girl. She dated around a lot and everything, but she didn't really have any type of like long-lasting relationships or anything. And she's a teenager.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, Jerry wasn't pretty even when he dressed up as a girl. But she didn't say that. I threw that in there. But
yeah, okay.
her parents were strict, conservative German immigrants. She didn't really have any social skills as far as like attracting anybody, but she was good looking if you catch my drift.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, but she didn't, she had never had like a real relationship before. But that was mainly because of her parents. Yeah, she had friends. She had very few friends as well because of her parents sheltering her. But when the 10-year-old kid introduced her to Jerry, she didn't like Jerry at first. He was a fat slob. Apparently, the weight had come back quickly, or whatever. But
I guess
he was. And what a 17-year-old would call a fat slob would be if they have a little bit of stuff hanging over their belt line.
Well, you know what I mean. Dude,
Yeah.
guy's 6 foot 180. Last time we talked about him.
Oh yeah, it was a year or two later.
Oh, this was a year. Okay, yeah, I guess that could happen.
Yeah, but he was an adult. She's like, oh, I've got this grown man that wants to date me. So they went on a date, first date, swimming. And
Okay.
she laughed at all of Jerry's jokes, and he quickly won her over. But her parents hated him. And
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. And when Jerry asked for her hand in marriage, they shut it down. But Darcy wanted out. She wanted out of, she wanted to get away. She's 17. Just hold out a little bit longer. You'll be able to do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah,
and you won't have to do what you're about to do.
Hindsight being 2020 and all.
They came up with a plan. A plan that would force her religious parents to let them get married. Take a guess.
He knocked her up.
Yep, that was the plan. You got it.
Yay, I knew one.
They decided.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of for that.
Well, there's not much there. No, not much else.
Yeah.
But, they decided that if Jerry knocked Darcy up, her parents would force him to get married. They did the deed. Jerry popped his cherry.
There's a T-shirt.
And Darcy got pregnant immediately. This was 6 weeks after they had met.
Okay.
6 weeks. But Darcy knew nothing of his fetishes or his mental illness issues or his assault charges or anything like that.
Well, yeah, because hopefully she wouldn't have agreed to it if she knew about that shit.
She probably wouldn't have. Although,
I mean,
she was looking for a bad boy.
I guess she found one, sort of.
Yeah, but then again, this is Jerry Brudos. This isn't Fonzie.
Yeah.
Their first kid, a daughter named Megan, was born in 1962, but before that, Jerry's fetishes would emerge. He would require Darcy to be naked with a pair of high heels all the time when at home, whether she was cleaning, cooking, doing laundry, looking after the baby. All the things that Jerry made her do while he just sat around doing nothing and playing around in his basement, in the basement.
All right.
It's not a good idea to cook nude. Especially if you're using a frying pan.
Put an apron on.
No, that's not nude.
All right, I'll give you that. But you can put the apron on while you're cooking.
No.
And then just take it off and be naked again.
Nope. Jerry wouldn't allow that.
Well, then
she had to be naked.
Don't use a lot of grease then.
Yeah, she had to be naked all the time. But
all right.
But he took lots of pictures of her, pressing her on naked and everything. All these pictures would later be seen by the police. After Megan was born, Jerry insisted that she ride Megan's tricycle around naked for photos.
Wow. All right. Now we're getting weird.
Yeah. And when they would have sex, sometimes he would put stockings, like pantyhose and stuff over her face just to kind of blot it out.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a piece of shit, as if we didn't already know that.
Right. Yeah,
Darcy
this took a turn I wasn't expecting.
Darcy didn't complain. She was submissive and obedient, for the most part. Yeah, just the type of girl they had dreamed of. But his fantasy didn't last long. And as Megan got older, Darcy decided that she had had enough of them being naked all the time, and started to think that it's not okay for them to be naked running around in front of her daughter, who is now a toddler.
Yeah.
She started pushing back, and Jerry didn't like that. Know your role, wife.
Know your role. Yeah. That's great.
This is crazy. They bounced around from house to house, and Jerry also bounced around from job to job, which is why they bounced around from house to house.
Was he ever a race car driver?
He was not. But if he was, he never won a checkered flag, but he never came in last.
Yeah, there you
go. But
you're welcome, Primus.
They were together for 7 years total. And in that time, they had lived in 20 different places.
Wow.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, apparently.
Except son turned it up to 11.
Yeah.
Jerry got a job as an electrical technician in Salem that he held for a while. It was a radio station. He played himself off to be a simple family man who didn't smoke or drink. He never discussed women at this job. He also came up with a tall tale about his military service. He said that he was medically discharged due to an injury from an explosion that killed 2 of his friends. He also said that he was in the Navy, not the Army. Yeah, he was in the Army, but this happened on a ship.
Yeah.
And the people bought it. I mean, the people there liked him, but they thought he was weird.
Gee, I wonder why.
His boss described him as the guy who would speak softly and then get hit by a big stick.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I gotta remember that one.
I know. When I came across that, I was just like, brilliant!
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well spoke, sir. I'm going to have to borrow that.
Me too. But the monster was inside, and it was stirring, and he began going on panty raids again.
Yeah.
But panty raids and shoes weren't cutting it for him. Darcy got pregnant again, and Jerry was ecstatic. He really wanted a boy.
Oh, no.
No, but he got lucky. He got lucky.
No.
But it was a boy. But when her son was born, Darcy didn't want him in the delivery room.
Okay.
She was sick of him, and who can blame her?
Right?
I mean, she told Jerry that this is great. She told Jerry that her reasoning was because she didn't want him to see another man playing with her. Just seems like a strange thing to. Seems like a strange thing to say, but Jerry didn't let any other man touch her. Not even hugs from relatives or friends. She wasn't even allowed to have male friends. So basically, she was just giving him a dose of his own medicine by holding him to his own rules.
All right.
I like Darcy.
I didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't either, but I like her.
Yeah. All right.
Right now.
Oh, no. Never mind. Just go.
I love telling you this story because I had heard it before and everything, but I love the fact that you've never heard this story before.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Shortly later, Jerry saw a pretty woman rocking some amazing stilettos. Yeah.
Pretty woman.
He decided he'd follow her home, get the shoes from her there, rather than knocking her down and stealing them, which is what he had been doing.
All right.
Just like basically playing the knockout game. Bam! Got your shoes.
I got the shoes. I got the shoes. I got the shoes. I got the precious shoes.
Jesus. All right.
He followed her to her apartment and waited until that he was sure that she was asleep. And he told himself that he just wanted her shoes. He broke in and started searching for the holiest of holies. But he woke her up.
Uh-oh.
And before she could scream, Jerry was on her. And, like pounced and everything. He wanted to make sure that, she didn't have a chance to turn the light on and see his face.
All right.
He choked her out, but once she was unconscious, he started fondling her body, and this turned him on, and he raped her. He took the shoes and he left, and Jerry now had a new favorite pair of shoes.
Uh-huh.
I'm laughing at Jerry.
Yes.
Not the rape victim.
No. So he's
Shouldn't
it's
have to say
escalating.
that, but it's 2024.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
All right. So
Jerry-
he's escalated.
Yeah. Jerry was on cloud nine with the biggest high that he'd ever had in his life. He thought that this erased the sting of not being able to see his son born, and also erased a severe injury that he had recently gotten when he had electrocuted himself at work. 480 volts from a live wire that he had accidentally grabbed threw him across the room, probably caused some even more brain damage than he already had.
Yeah.
But this also made him think of himself as an alpha, because that would have killed a weaker man. He didn't even go to the hospital for that, but put a knife in that.
All right.
He was also stoked because he could he could like lift heavy engine parts that a lot of people needed help with, and put a knife in that.
Okay. So wait a minute.
Now he
got electrocuted and became like Superman?
No, not really. I mean, he was physically strong. He just had a lot of fat layers all over his muscles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of... Never mind. Go ahead.
He had stolen many shoes and panties, beaten up girls, even raped one, but he had never killed one. And he decided that was something he'd have to remedy, and he would get his chance soon enough. January 26, 1968. You know, when I throw an actual date up in this podcast, something bad's about to happen.
I know. I'm waiting.
Jerry was working in his yard. It was cold. It had been raining, but he was out there in his yard for whatever reason. But the rain and sleet had slacked off. January in Oregon, it's probably snow too. But
maybe.
You
a lot of times in Oregon, it doesn't get cold enough to snow.
Oh, no, I've been to Portland.
Yeah.
I was snowed in there for like a week. It was perfectly, nice sunny days, nothing there in Portland, and I had a blast when I was there. But the surrounding areas, the surrounding interstates were like snowed in. You couldn't get in or out of Portland.
Yeah.
But I had a blast while I was there. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Portland. But he spotted a woman walking down the street, 19-year-old Linda Slauson. She walked up to Jerry. She was looking lost. She had a briefcase. She said that she was an encyclopedia salesperson, and that she had an appointment with somebody on that street, but she couldn't find the address because her paper had gotten smudged due to the rain.
Okay.
Jerry asked who she was looking for, because he was expecting an encyclopedia salesperson.
Of course he was.
Yeah. She told him, she told him the name. He said, "Well, today's your lucky day because that's me. Come into my basement where my office is, and we'll talk about it."
Oh God! Of course.
Linda agreed, and God, I kind of went a little southern on his accent right there.
You did a little bit.
I gotta do better. I haven't done that all through this episode, but I gotta okay. Yeah. Mental note. So Linda agreed, not thinking that anything was off. They went into his basement. She began making her pitch, and he mentioned that he had kids and everything. She tried to upsell him some children's books that the publishing company did, and they had as well. Everything. Jerry's all into it and all that stuff. And even back then, I can't imagine how horrible of a job encyclopedia sales must have been.
I know, right? And for those of you that don't know, encyclopedias are books that are like Google now. Yeah, before Google, you had to look something up in a book that you had to fucking update all the friggin' time.
Yeah. If you want to... That was the first subscription-based service.
You know what? It was. In a way, yeah.
Because I mean, it's just like, my mom had a set of world books from like, I don't know, 1962 or 1973. I don't remember. But still, it's just everything that, anything that was listed in that that had been updated wasn't in those books.
Yeah. You had to get new ones.
Yeah. God, that was the first subscription-based service. Can you imagine if somebody sat there and bought encyclopedias every time there was an update? Their entire freaking house would be filled with encyclopedia books.
Yeah, it's not like you just get the page that the update is. And you
no, you get the entire book. You have to buy a
whole new set. You have to buy a whole new set.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
That was a fucking racket from hell back then.
Damn right.
I mean, encyclopedias, I mean, they were cool, but still, it's just, can you imagine if you bought a set of encyclopedias that were published in 2024, by 2026, you'd have to replace the entire thing because
what are you
everything
talking about,
that was...
Dude, you'd have to do it the day after you bought them.
Yeah, yeah. 24-hour news cycle and everything.
Yeah, I mean, hell.
Oh, hell.
That's why they don't make them anymore, man.
We were recording this episode. We were recording this episode. We just got an alert that Trump was shot at a fucking rally.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. Didn't see that coming.
No. Anyway,
but
hashtag,
but I digress.
Yes.
Jerry asked her if he wanted a soda, and she said yes, and he acted like he was going to the fridge behind her, and when her back was turned, he picked up a piece of wood and he bludgeoned her on the head with it.
Oh, shit.
He then strangled her to death and stuffed her body into the closet under the staircase.
Okay.
This whole time, his mother, Eileen, and the kids, you know, Eileen was there babysitting the kids. They were in the house upstairs. And this was the middle of the fucking day, too, obviously, because you're not going to be selling encyclopedias at night.
Yeah, right?
But he went up. If you're selling encyclopedias at night, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
But he walked upstairs. He gave his mom some money and told her to take the kids to get some ice cream.
All right.
He then went back and undressed Linda, and she was wearing some really nice red panties and bra, which became his new prized possession. Yeah, while he was doing this, he heard footsteps above him. A friend of his, with a key to his place, let himself in to ask Jerry if he wanted to hang out.
Uh-oh. All right.
Jerry said, "No. Sorry.
I'm busy.
I'm busy. I'm busy making nitroglycerin."
He actually said that?
He said that. He was making nitroglycerin.
Okay. I mean, that's... You could have just said I'm busy and left it at that.
Yeah.
See, now your friend's going to go call the cops because he thinks you're making bombs.
Oh, he didn't. His friend took it. Oh, that's just Jerry. He's such a funny guy.
Oh, his friend understands the crazy. Okay.
Yeah, and he could have probably said to this guy, "I've got a dead body in there that I want to fuck," and
he would have just gone, "All right, it's just
all
Jerry."
right, yeah, just
Jesus.
But still, on an Ed Gein thing,
Yeah.
there was this victim. I can't remember her name, but people were asking. It's just like, have you seen her? Yeah, she's missing. Have you seen her? Ed Gein's like, oh yeah, I got her hanging up in my barn.
Yeah.
And everybody's, oh, Ed Gein, you're so funny.
You kid her.
Yeah.
Got any chili?
He didn't do that.
I know. That's why I said it.
He didn't rape Linda's body. But this was the crime of opportunity, and he didn't have film ready for his camera, so he took a trophy.
No.
He took a trophy.
No.
He cut off her foot. And he put it
in the
freezer.
Oh.
He also kept her briefcase as a trophy as well. he would use the foot to model shoes.
Okay.
And he'd pull it out. It's like rock hard frozen and everything. He'd put like a little shoe on it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that had to get weird. I mean, even weirder than it is right now after that. I mean, even in the freezer, it's going to,
Yeah, it's not going to be the natural skin color. It's going to be a bluish.
Yeah.
I'm a true podcaster.
Okay.
I'm a true crime podcaster. That's how I know that.
Yes.
But
all right. Yeah, dude. You definitely were right about the people would think this was a joke
if they
didn't know.
if they weren't familiar with it, yeah.
Because Jesus, this is just getting weirder and weirder.
Well, I mean, if you listen to Dan Cummins' episode, his April Fool's prank that he did on April 1st of 2024. This is every bit as outrageous as that story that he came up with. Mine that we did a year earlier, that wasn't really all that outrageous. It just seemed like a regular true crime case.
Yeah, and I think that's what made it better, or makes it better, is that it seemed like a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go out of my way to be like outrageous and all that stuff. Yeah, but well, he got a lot of people. Apparently, he got another podcaster as well.
Right. Anyway, moving on.
But he then took her body to a bridge, and he pulled out a spare tire out of his trunk, and he set it next to his car, and he jacked the car up a little bit so it looked like he was just changing a tire. He then weighed her body down by tying an engine block to her, and then, chunked her in. And, well, no, he tied it to her first, and then drove to a bridge, and he chunked her in, and she was gone.
Yeah. Let me guess, the water was really shallow, wasn't it?
No.
No? Okay.
This was... I left the name of the river out, but since you were...
What is it, the Willamette?
Huh?
What, the Willamette River? It's the only one I know in Oregon.
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah?
That's a deep river, isn't it?
I have no fucking idea, dude.
Oh.
It's been decades since I've been to Oregon.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
I thought you were contributing something to the episode.
Well, no, I am, dude, because it is the Willamette River is the only one I know.
It started with an L, I know that. But
started with an L? That I don't know.
But and then later,
look at my encyclopedia, I'll find it.
But
go ahead.
Once the foot was too far gone, he chunked that into the river too. But that put him on a high that lasted a long time, and he wouldn't kill again until November 26, 1968, exactly 10 months to the day later.
10 months?
Yeah.
All right.
In a role reversal, Jerry ignored his daughter but favored his son, Jason. Yeah.
Okay.
Darcy had just pretty much written him off completely at this time, and she did her thing while Jerry did his. She would keep the kids away from him. She'd just be away. She didn't like him. I don't blame her.
All right.
But the whole time Jerry was locked in his basement and everything, but he was still trying to get Darcy to do him from time to time, and she'd either ignore him or she'd leave. He kept pushing her to dress sexy for him, but she ignored him.
All right.
One night she was ignoring him, and he sulked off, went into his basement, put on a stuffed bra, panties, stockings, garters, and heels, walked up into the living room. Darcy just looked up and then went right back to her book.
Didn't even care.
No reaction whatsoever.
No reaction.
Jerry just stood there.
Well, you don't want to fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Yeah, right? Dude, that's gotta be where that came from. That's gotta be where that came
Right?
from.
You know? I'd fuck.
But he just sulked back and changed clothes. I mean, and he was.
I mean, you have to do that when you don't get the desired response.
I know, just like. Oh, and by the way, he also had his dick tucked back.
Yeah. Well, you know. If you're going for a look, you got to go all in.
God damn, this guy. Oh, man.
Anyway.
But he was eating everything he could, and he was getting weight rapidly. It was a coping mechanism. I mean, but still, that just he comes up looking like that. She looks at him, and just goes right back
no
to her
reaction?
book.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
and I'm not judging her for doing that. I'm not. But still, for him,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, that was probably one of the biggest fuck yous you could give somebody like that.
I just not in here. I got my book.
Whatever. She's probably like, I knew it all along.
But Jerry began working in his basement. He was outfitting it to be a sex dungeon. He put locks on the doors. He even installed an intercom system.
Okay.
Darcy, for the kids, they had to announce their presence before entering. He said it's because he could be developing pictures. He said it's because he set up a dark room. And one time he even bitched at Darcy for not calling before she came home from a friend's house.
Oh, Jesus. Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you can't have your wife walking in on your dark room.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely was a dark room.
It's a dark room, yeah, but not. Yeah. I'm sure
Seems
our
like
listeners are smart enough to get that.
Seems like he did know how to develop, like black and white pictures.
Yeah.
But like when he was taking pictures of Darcy naked and all that stuff, it's just like he could develop the black and white ones on his own. She had a issue with the ones that were color because he had to send them away. But he's just like, I took a picture at the front and the end of this of like, of like what, of something else or whatever. They don't look at what's in the middle.
All the guys at the photomat are going, copies.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. they do.
Oh, yeah.
At the pictures.
They look. See, the cool thing now is everything's digital. You can take pictures on your phone, and then the whole world sees it instead of just the guys at the photomat.
Yeah, right?
Anyway.
He wanted to have freezers so he could keep lots of bodies there and play with them.
Oh,
and then put them away whenever you wanted. Dolls. Yeah, his ultimate dream was an underground torture lair complete with cells and, for prisoners.
Yeah.
A large walk-in freezer. He even this is the craziest thing of this entire fucking episode. He wanted a rolling dungeon. He wanted a bus where he could just pick up multiple women in town, chain them up in the bus, and then, just like round them up. And then just bring them all home and just herd them into, not home, but wherever his underground sex dungeon, just herd them all in. All at once. Not sure that I see that plan working out ever.
No.
In any,
Not with just him.
Well, not even that. It's just like, if he was successful going out one time, it would only work that one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Even back then, the news traveled fast
Even
enough.
back then.
Watch out for a school bus.
Watch out for that school bus labeled the Sexy Shoe Express.
Yeah. Watch out for Jerry's prison van or prison bus.
Yeah. God, this guy. Yeah,
I mean,
that shock to the head really did probably.
Yeah,
he was
it
already
damaged him.
fucked in the head. It made him even worse.
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you even think of shit like that.
Yeah, no, a bus.
A bus,
Really?
to bring.
You're just gonna drive. You're just
Yeah.
gonna drive through Portland, downtown Portland. All right. It's
Well,
a bus.
you could do that right now, dude. You just like open the door. Hey, you want some fentanyl? And then they just run right in. Well, they'll zombie walk in.
Or you could just say, "Hey, we're a traveling porn thing."
Yeah, bang bus.
Cause bang bus. Because that happens.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Damn.
Anyway,
But anyway, November 26, 1968, 23-year-old Jan Whitney was driving down I-5 on the way home from work. Her car broke down and she pulled onto the shoulder. She had picked up two hitchhikers as she was driving, and they were standing by the car. Jerry pulled up and offered to help. He said he could fix it, but he'd have to go home and get his tools.
of course.
He even said, there actually was something wrong with the car. They found out when they found the car. So, and he obviously knew what it was. But
Right.
he even offered to take the hitchhikers to where they needed to go because it was local. So the trio piled into Jerry's car and off they went. Once they got to Jerry's house, Jerry said that he had forgotten his garage key, but his wife would be home shortly. And she had one.
Mm-hmm.
They start chit-chatting. Jerry then joined Jan in the back seat. He told her he wanted to play a game.
I want to play a game.
Yeah. If a stranger says they want to play a game, run.
Yeah, if you can, unless it's already too late.
If you can. Yeah.
Anyway.
He told her to close her eyes and try to explain how to tie a shoe knot without using hand gestures and with no sight.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Even if I had been okay with everything that happened up to this point, you tell me to close my eyes? Fuck you.
Yeah, right?
But I'm not victim blaming. I'm just
No.
saying. But still, I mean, he had picked up the two guys that were with her and all that stuff, so she felt safe with him.
Well, dude, if she was driving along the road and picked up two male hitchhikers, she's obviously into some freaky shit.
No, not necessarily. I mean, this is back in the late 60s. That shit was commonplace back then.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but still.
Anyway.
But she did it. She tried, and he was just like, no, you're using your hands. You can't use your hands or whatever. But finally, while her eyes were closed, Jerry grabbed the leather strap and strangled her.
Okay. With the other guys still there?
No, he dropped them off where they wanted to go. It was just him and it was just him and Jan.
Okay. I got you. Sorry.
Yeah.
I missed that part. Anyway.
But he then dragged her into her garage, dressed her in different sets of shoes and underwear, took pictures. Then he raped her body. He then hoisted her body up on a pulley system, and he would rape her body daily for 2 days straight. He didn't have a large freezer, so I'm sure that garage smelled like really ripe.
Yeah.
And it should be noted that between his first murder and this one, they had moved. And this particular house had a detached garage.
Oh, all right. That's
why
kind of convenient.
Yeah, that's why he pounced on it. But
all right.
He even cut one of her breasts off. He wanted to use it as a paperweight. He wanted to make a paperweight out of it, but the epoxy didn't work out how he thought that it would. So he stuffed it full of sawdust and just pinned it to a piece of wood.
All right. I got nothing for that, dude. Seriously.
I know. Like I said,
if we release this, he's got boob on a stick.
If we release this on April 1st, people that weren't familiar with the story would think that we were goofing on them.
Oh yeah, you'd have to, because who does that? Sorry.
Darcy would see this one day.
The boob on a stick?
The boob on a stick.
All right.
And he just said it was a novelty idea that he had that didn't work. She didn't question it any further other than saying that it looked real.
All right. She of course she's not going to question it. She don't want her boob on a stick.
Yeah. And we're going to get to her at the end.
Yeah.
But on Thanksgiving, Jerry and his family went out of town, and he left Jan's body strung up in his garage.
Uh-oh.
While they were gone, a drunk driver crashed into the garage, knocking a hole into the garage door. Police responded, but not one of them looked into the garage or noticed a smell. All they did was leave a business card asking Jerry to call them. They didn't want to violate his privacy. This could have ended right then and there.
Yes.
When they got back, he saw the damage. He found the note from the cops and he called the police. He then wrapped Damn, that was
bad.
That was really bad. He then wrapped Jan's body in a tarp and put it in a shed in the backyard. Police came, filed a report, and left. The fucking corpse is on the property.
I don't know.
That night, Jerry took her body, weighed it down, with another engine car part, and then tossed it off a bridge and into the river. And we have somebody that hasn't been on this show in a long time to give a little bit of commentary about this whole situation.
Right.
Ladies and
ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back the one and only Dick Darwin.
Hello, everybody. Dick Darwin here, Dallas detective. Sir Todd is back now. Welcome back, sir. I swear, CKCB has a higher turnover rate than the Dallas Police Department. But really, you can't be too hard on the officers from the Oregon Police Department for not finding that young lady that Jerry Brudos had strung up in his garage. There are several reasons why. One, there's no reason to look into that garage. They got the guy who had crashed in the house. They left contact info. And really, if they had, Jerry Brudos could have actually sued them for searching without a warrant. That's illegal. They did their job. Plus, it was Thanksgiving. Nobody wants a murder investigation over a holiday. But I'm gonna share something that not many people know. The reason that the officers didn't smell the decomposing body is likely due to senseless officers. And I mean that in the literal term. The Dallas Police Department has a squad of officers who can't smell, you see. We hire them to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. We send them into situations where we know that there are or could be dead bodies. They can't smell, see, so nobody loses their lunch. Donuts and coffee are really uncomfortable coming back up, if you know what I mean. But they aren't just exclusive to those cases, so they get sent out on normal everyday occurrences as well, you see. They likely had their own senseless officers on the case, and if that is indeed the case, you really can't fault them for this oversight. Thanks once again for having me on your show. Dick Darwin, Dallas Detective, signing off.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Dick.
Dick. Hey, well, at least he welcomed me back. That's cool.
Yeah, we're after this one. Yeah,
There's no more Dallas for us ever.
ever.
No,
That was the
never.
best Dick. That was the best Dick Darwin yet, I think.
It was. But yeah, we are now 100% officially not allowed in Dallas.
Jan and Linda's bodies were never recovered, but Sergeant Jim Stovall of the Oregon State Police had put together a task force because of the two missing women. He was a freaking rock star of a cop, and he even put together an extremely accurate profile on the killer. Profiling wasn't a thing yet at this point, and neither was the term serial killer.
Okay.
Jan had been reported missing by her family, and her car was found on the road. Stovall noticed that Jan had been reported missing by her family, and her car was found on the road. Stovall noticed that it hadn't even been a year since Linda, the encyclopedia salesperson's disappearance. She had vanished, but the encyclopedia company figured that she had just quit. Lots of turnover in that.
Yeah.
Obviously. What a shitty job that must have been.
Yeah, right.
Any door-to-door job is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Her family had reported her missing as well. March 27, 1969. You'll notice that his cooling off period is getting shorter. Jerry abducted 18-year-old Oregon State University student Karen Spinker from a department store parking lot. She was on the way to meet her mother for lunch. Jerry had seen her, and she was wearing some sweet and sexy high heels and a mini skirt. He lost her at one point, but he later found her again. He ran up to her with a real-looking plastic gun and told her to get into his car, and if she cooperated, he wouldn't hurt her.
Uh-huh. They all say that.
Begged, yeah. She begged him to let her go all through the ride to Jerry's house, and once there, he asked if she was a virgin.
Oh, boy.
Karen said that she was not only a virgin, but she was on her period. She's trying to be proactive. She's trying to be proactive.
Yeah,
she's trying to like make herself.
Yes, appear
Yeah.
unattractive to a rapist.
Maybe she should have just said that. No, I'm 18 years old and I've had sex with 60 men so far. It wouldn't
It's so
have mattered.
big you could drive a train through it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered to Jerry though. He didn't care.
Oh no.
It's a process killer, not a product killer.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? He was both.
Yeah.
He loved the process and he loved the product. He was both.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And as far as the nature versus nurture, definitely nurture.
Yeah. Yeah, his mom hating him definitely pushed him in a direction.
Yeah. Still, didn't give you any excuse to do the shit that this piece of shit has done.
No, it doesn't.
But Jerry forced her to undress, and he raped her on the floor of his garage. He then forced her to pose in different positions, different shoes, different lingerie, underwear, and all that stuff, and he took pictures of all of this. He then tied her hands around her back and put a noose around her neck. He actually asked if it was too tight, and she said that it was. And he says, "Okay, cool." He then threw the rope over a beam and hoisted her up. He then went into the house and left her there to suffocate.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The shit that he's doing is worse than what happened with the Manson murders.
Yeah, he's cruel.
Yeah.
Like excessively cruel.
Yeah, and he just, he didn't give a shit. He's just like,
yeah.
The Manson murders, they just went in and slaughtered everybody and everything. And I'm not saying that doesn't suck.
Yeah. That they're not any better, but
still, for this to go away because of the Manson murders, that's just crazy to me.
Well, the Mansons killed somebody famous.
Semi-famous.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah. But,
and this guy, and not that the women this guy killed were nobodies, but
well, and also you got to figure
they weren't aspiring actresses or something. You know what I mean?
Also, you got this was different.
Yeah,
there were
like dragging
there were
her
others.
Fuck, dude.
There were other the Manson murders was something different.
Yeah.
It's like serial killers had already started in that point at that point. So it's just like, okay, there's a serial killer on the list. Okay, all right. Oh my God, a cult just killed a bunch of just killed a bunch of A-list or a bunch of B-list actors.
Right.
Oh my God. In the home of a A-list producer, whatever.
Yeah.
I hope I got that right, but whatever.
But dude,
still,
I used to know, but I don't anymore. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
But that's why it was something different.
Yeah, and Sharon Tate was pregnant too, right?
Yeah, she was.
So there's a big thing. But anyway, moving on.
Do me a favor. You don't have to do it right now. Well, but before the end of this episode, look up the date of those murders, the murders. We'll talk about it at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Because I'm curious to know the exact time frame between when Brudos was arrested and when that happened. So, anyway. Jerry then repeatedly raped her corpse, and he took post-mortem pictures of her as well. He cut off both of her breasts because he really wanted that boob paperweight thing.
Did he figure out the resin bit yet or no?
I'm getting there.
All right.
That night he took her to a bridge, tied an engine part to her body, and then chunked her over. He had stuffed the holes where her breasts were with with like paper towels and held them in place with a bra. This wasn't for anything like symbolic or anything like that. It was just so that blood wouldn't drip all over his car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that freaked me out. I'm like, where's this going?
Notice how he's escalating with each thing that he does. Each crime is worse than the previous, dating back to the time that he was a teenager. Everything that he did just got a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse.
Yep.
Yeah, and then once he starts murdering, each murder gets a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse.
Yeah. Damn it. All right.
So the last murder was at the end of March of 1969. All of his murders to date were at the end of the month, And this wasn't lost on the police, but that was about to change. With Karen's murder, Jerry Brudos was officially in berserker mode. He wouldn't strike again until April 21st, 1969. But he stalked April... he stalked 24... He stalked 24-year-old Sharon Wood in a parking lot at a Portland mall.
Okay.
She's not somebody you want to fuck with. You know why? Because
She was a cop.
she was on her way to talk with an attorney because she was going through a divorce.
Oh.
She's not in a good mood.
Or maybe she is because she knows she's going to get half his shit. Who knows?
No, no.
She wasn't in a good mood. Right.
She was 24 years old.
So, maybe she married an old rich guy.
She didn't.
She didn't.
She married some freaking loser that was whatever.
Anyway.
Jerry creeped up behind her, and she knew somebody was behind her, but she kept moving. Jerry creeped up, tapped her hand on her shoulder, and she turned around to see Jerry dressed in drag, pointing a gun at her, his toy gun.
Mm-hmm.
He told her not to scream, but she did. She screamed bloody murder. He grabbed her, but she fought him tooth and nail. She punched him. She hit him. She even bit him. He was pummeling her, too. And his thumb wound up in her mouth.
Uh-oh.
She clamped down, and she wouldn't let go. It was the traumatic lockjaw, like what Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption told the rapist would happen to them if they stabbed him in the ear with their dick in his mouth.
Yeah.
Same thing.
All right.
Jerry grabbed her head and then began smashing it on the ground. She, her mouth opened, but before anything else could happen, a VW bug rounded the corner. Jerry hauled ass and Sharon survived. Police took her statement, and she couldn't give a good description. She had survived because she had gotten her ass beat in the process. She did, however, say that it was a man dressed in women's clothes with freckles.
Okay.
When Karen Sprinker was taken, people had reported seeing what they thought was a fat woman going through the parking lot of the store that she was in.
All right.
And then they realized that it was a man.
Okay.
Because of the fact that he was awkwardly adjusting his clothes. Like he wasn't used to being in women's clothes, like that or whatever. He's just pulling his, whatever.
Bras can be uncomfortable.
But I'm gonna call out I'm gonna give a shout out to the Brohios again, the Brohio podcast. When they covered Jerry Brudos, they got Sharon on for an interview.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really good, and she said that years later, when Anne Rule had written her book, she was doing like a meet and greet, autograph signing and event and everything. Sharon didn't know that it was. That was what was going on. But she was there, and then she just, she just happened to be in the bookstore, and she saw, Anne Rule sitting there, like peddling her book.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about Jerry Brudos. And she's like, damn, so she got in line.
I remember
she
that
goes
fucker.
Yeah, she goes up, and when she gets to meet Ann Rule, she's like, yeah, I met that guy. Met him in a parking garage in Portland. And Ann Rule jumped up. She's like, oh my God, it's you, Sharon. Hugged her.
Right on. All right.
Yeah. You're welcome, Bro Hios. That's 2 plugs in one episode. but still, it's just that
That's cool.
yeah, it was really cool. And when I was going through this and everything, I was just like, I think I've heard about this before. What podcast was it on? And I had to listen to several different podcasts
To figure it out.
and then finally, like, okay, it was the Brohios. Okay.
Right on.
We love you, Brohios.
Yes.
We'd appreciate some love back.
Yeah. It is what it is. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. We're getting close to the end.
Thank God.
We got 7 pages to go.
All right.
Next day, the very next day, Jerry saw a 15-year-old. Remember, I said he's berserker mode.
Uh-huh.
He saw a 15-year-old Gloria Smith walking by railroad tracks, near a neighborhood. He tried to force her to go, to a green VW Carmagia.
Oh.
He's like, I'm not going to hurt you. But he wanted her to come with him. He's like, I'm not going to rape you. But he was walking her. He was walking her to the car. But luckily, there was a woman working in her yard. Gloria saw that, and she screamed for help and just took off and ran toward the woman. Jerry hauled ass. Yeah, good for her. Absolutely.
So Jerry pretended to be a race car driver and got the fuck out of there.
Gloria described her attacker as best as she could, but her description didn't really turn up anything. He was wearing sunglasses, baggy clothes. The usual suspects were all cleared. Jerry Brudos still wasn't on anybody's radar, but she did mention that her attacker had freckles.
I was waiting for the freckles to come back.
They're going to come back again, too. But it's actually the freckles that really did him in.
Yeah. Because sure as hell wasn't the senseless cops.
Looking Dick Darwin. Love that guy.
Goddamn right.
So Jerry's already in berserker mode. And he struck out twice in 2 days. So he's really pissed at this point.
I would guess, yeah.
Yeah. The very next day, April 23rd, 1969, he saw 22-year-old Linda Saley. She was a part-time student at Portland State University, and he grabbed her from a mall parking lot. She had been there buying gifts for her boyfriend's birthday. When Jerry saw her, he flashed a fake police badge and told her that he was an undercover cop and he was investigating theft and that she matched the description of the suspect.
Did the badge come with a plastic gun? I mean, did he buy a kit like at the dollar store or something?
Probably. Dollar stores weren't a thing back then, but still, I mean, it's just like, but yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean, right? He went into a toy store and bought a friggin' Be a Policeman kit for kids.
Yeah, he later said that he got the badge from a pawn shop. But
Yeah.
you know what? I go to pawn shops a lot, looking for whatever the hell I might be able to find and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not once have I ever seen a police badge.
Oh.
And a lot of serial killers say that. They got it from a pawn shop. You know, I mean,
No, not a real one.
yeah. And you didn't buy a fake one from a pawn shop either. You bought it from the fucking toy store.
Yeah, you got it from the toy store.
Yeah.
Or Amazon, but Amazon wasn't a thing then.
Amazon wasn't a thing back then.
Anyway.
So he said he was placing her under arrest, and Linda said, she's like, I didn't do anything. I've got the receipts for everything that I have. But young girl,
Yep.
guy flashes a badge that looks real. She went with him.
Of course.
She got into his car.
That
Hey,
wasn't
you
a
know
police car.
No. There's no victim blaming here at all.
Nope.
Not going to do that. But what happens, we are going to talk about. So,
Here we go.
he drove up to her house. She didn't say anything. Or he drove up to his house. She didn't say anything. Got her into his garage and everything. This is probably the most horrific one because this girl just froze.
Yeah.
But Darcy called her on, called in on the intercom saying the dinner was ready. He had
Was it
already
chili?
tied her up. No. He had already tied her up. Darcy called in and said that dinner was ready. And Jerry told her to sit tight. He'd be back. What a fucking asshole.
Wow.
I mean, that's the coldest thing that he's said.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. He's
Just sit
gone.
tight.
Yeah, he's gone.
When he came back with a full stomach, he found that Linda had gotten free from her ropes. But she had just sat there and waited for him to come back.
Okay. And why
hear
would
the
she do this?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
You hear responses to trauma being fight or flight. But there's a third one, freeze. Linda, fight, flight, or freeze.
All right.
Linda had frozen. But really, I question whether or not this actually happened. This is from his story. I don't think that she got out of her binds. I don't think that he left her to go eat dinner. I think that this is just Jerry being the douche that he is.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
I really don't. I don't believe that she got out of her binds and sat there and waited for him. Fight, flight, freeze, whatever. No,
Yeah.
This guy left you alone. You're fucking terrified, but you know what?
And you fought enough to get free, but after you got free, you just did nothing.
After you got free, you just did nothing. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't believe that
No.
that's what happened.
I don't either.
Yeah, because if she got free, it's just like, holy crap, I'm free. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right?
But no, I don't believe that happened. I mean, most of what he said, I believe.
Right.
This one,
Nah.
bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she tried to fight him when he put a leather strap around her neck. And she asked why he was doing this to her. And he didn't say anything. He just connected the rope, the strap to her rope, and he hoisted her up, and she died slowly. But not before he raped her, before she actually died. He said that he wanted to be inside her when she died.
Damn, this guy's
What?
a sick fucker, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. This is a case that I've wanted to cover for a while.
Right.
And Yeah. Like I was telling you earlier, I don't think that if I covered this case a year ago, I'd be able to cover it with the way that it's just a year ago, the podcast was much better than it was a year prior. You know? But now a year later, the podcast is much better than it was a year ago. And I just don't think that I would have been able to like tell the story and ridicule this guy like subtly yet intentionally the way that I am in this episode.
Right. I got you.
And I hope our listeners enjoy it.
I hope so too.
I know they were. I mean, this is definitely the funniest Jerry Brudos episode there is.
Right on. All right. Well, let's.
But we're getting respectful when it comes in, into this part of the fucking story. Because, but once she died, he wasn't done.
Well, of course
he
not.
strung her back up. Oh, yeah, he raped her corpse too. But he strung her back up, and he stuck 2 needles into her sides below her armpits. He connected those wires to them, and the wires to a car battery, and tried to zap her to make her body move. He wanted her body to dance. And it didn't work, but put a knife in that.
I'm not sure I want to. So this guy thinks he's fucking Dr. Frankenstein now?
A wannabe.
Well, you know what I mean.
They kept her body for 24 hours, raping it several more times. They then tied an engine part to her body and tossed it off a bridge.
Yeah, his typical MO.
Yeah. Missing persons posters have been going up all over Portland for the missing women. And when the newspaper, and the newspaper had been running stories about him and everything, women were scared, as they usually are when they find out there's a fucking serial killer on the loose. 2 weeks after Linda's murder, the second Linda, not the first one, he's killed 2 Lindas, her body was found. It was floating in the river, and a fisherman found her.
Okay.
Her breasts had been filled by paper towels held in by a bra. And then, once he reported it, Karen Spinkler's body was found about 50 yards away.
Oh.
Sergeant Stovall, rock star cop,
Right.
was on the case immediately, and he knew that he was dealing with a serial killer. He had the area dredged, but nothing else was found. Remember, I said that his first 2 murders, murder victims, they were never found. But both of these women have been tied to engine parts with knots tied that, the way that an electrician would do it. Copper wire was used as well.
All right.
These women were the same build, same age, and they had both been asphyxiated as cause of death. Newspapers were all over this, and Jerry was eating it up. He had stumped the police, and he was loving life, and he wanted more.
All right. Instead of being terrified that they're figuring out his fucking MO.
But they don't know it's him.
Yeah, but they're getting close.
Not really. Not at this point.
Dude, if I killed people and threw them into a river and they found the bodies of those women in a river, in that river, I would be freaking the fuck out.
He's not. This guy's got balls of fucking steel.
Well, no.
This
He's
guy's got balls
got brains scrambled by fucking being electrocuted.
And by having a mom that was...
And a mom that hated him, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, moving on.
But he wanted more.
Of course.
He began trying to get dates in a very strange way. So he's evolving once again, escalating.
Escalating, yeah.
He would call the dorm switchboard at the colleges and ask for a random female name. Yeah, I want to talk to Susan. I want to talk to Susan. When he got it right, he would say that a friend had given him her number, and he would say that he was a Vietnam vet and that he had ESP powers.
Oh.
And this actually worked. It actually worked.
Okay.
He got several dates off of this. He didn't kill any of them. But one woman he went on a date with, he creeped her out big time. He started talking about the 2 dead girls that were all over the news. Then he started massaging her shoulders and told her, she's like, you need to get sad for the 2 dead girls.
Fuck me, dude. Really? Why? Why would you do that?
Tell me you're a serial killer without telling me you're a serial killer.
No shit. What in the fucking fuck, dude? All right.
After the date, he asked her why she had gone out with him. He could have been the killer after all, and he could have taken her to the river.
The odds of 2 serial killers being in the same car is astronomical.
Well, there was only one. But
you know what
still,
I mean.
Yeah. She reported this to the police. And they told her that if he called back to set up a date, to contact them immediately. She's like, yeah, they told set up the date, agree to the date. She described her attacker as being around 30, tall, thinning, blonde, fair hair, fat, and he had what?
Freckles.
Bum, bum, bum. Jerry did call this girl back a week later, and he wanted to meet her again. He wanted to meet her as, quote, Coca-Cola and conversation.
All right.
He's like, I'll pick you up in 15 minutes. I'll pick you up in about 15 minutes. But she's like, I gotta wash my hair.
Yeah. Dude,
So
whatever. Yeah.
So let's make it an hour.
Yeah.
He agreed, and she immediately called the police.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, you can't tell a chick you're going to pick her up in 15 minutes, dude.
No.
I mean, yeah, I'll pick you up in 15 minutes from this same time tomorrow, and then you'll be ready. Anyway.
Plainclothes officers showed up in the commons area of the dorm building and waited. Right on schedule, Jerry showed up and sat down at a table. 2 officers walked up to him, showed him a badge, and said they were questioning anybody who seemed out of place. Jerry said that he had... This is
But
the
he didn't
worst.
show him. He didn't show them his badge. Like, dude, I'm doing the same thing.
God, he should have.
We're on the same
God.
side here, bros. Come on.
Yeah, I'm an undercover officer. Oh my
Anyway,
God,
thank God he didn't,
that
because
was
then
great.
this fucking story would be like another hour longer.
Or 15 minutes shorter.
Well, you know.
But Jerry said that he lived in Salem and that he had just mowed a friend's lawn and decided to check out the college. That's like the worst freaking
as 30-somethings
story.
do.
Yeah, that's like the worst thing that I've ever heard. I mean, at 30-something and go to college.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but this is 1969, man. That shit didn't happen.
Right.
Anyway. Moving on.
The cops knew that he was full of shit, but that wasn't enough to arrest him. But he had shown them his ID, his driver's license.
Ooh. All right.
Coincidentally, he left and didn't try to go on the date. He would have gotten stood up for that anyway.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the police dug into his background. They found his history of mental illness, his being institutionalized, as well as his record of assaulting people when he was a teen. And I thought you were expunged once you turned 18.
I don't know.
Well,
No,
you have
to do a whole other thing to get that done.
Oh, okay. But still, this is late 60s.
I don't know.
It's late 60s. But I don't know. I just thought that was weird because I thought that once you turned 18, you got expunged of anything that you'd done. I don't agree with that. I think that.
See, I think you have to go to court again and ask the judge to do that. I don't think it automatically happens. I mean, you can get it done, but I think you have to ask for it.
Oh, okay.
I think. Don't hold me to that because, I'm not a lawyer.
I don't know. I don't know either. But but
if anybody knows,
put
the answer in the comments.
Yeah. By the way, you can comment on Spotify now.
Oh, you can? Holy shit.
Yes. So
well then, light the comments up, listeners. Come on.
Yeah. Apple and Spotify and YouTube. There's ways to comment. But they also found that he had lived near the area where the other two missing women, the first two, were last seen. They were sure that they had their guy. And they went to his place for some follow-up questions. He was in his garage. One cop noticed some rope that looked like the rope that the women had been tied with.
Okay.
Jerry offered it to them, and he cut a length of rope off and actually gave it to them. This guy's freaking brazen. He's
yeah.
He gives no fucks. Yeah. The cop also saw...
You can't actually dust for vomit. That's the kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The cop also saw like a knot that had been cut off, and he slipped it into his pocket. Okay. Later, on May 28, 1969, a warrant was served. When they arrived, neighbors, when the police arrived, neighbors said that, they had just taken off, and they were headed for I-5. And by the way, we call it I-4 in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But in California, they call it the 5.
The 5?
The 5.
Good. One more reason for me not to go to California.
I don't know. It's just, no. I-4 sounds a lot more menacing, and it is. Well, now, I-4 is not more menacing than I-5. But by calling it the 5,
yeah,
you're cheapening its...
It's parking lot status.
Call it I-5. Call it I-5. Don't call it the 5.
Yeah.
Call it I-5.
Wait,
I'm just saying.
They're trying to be cool in California.
Yeah, but you know what? Y'all in California, you got your own problems and everything. What you call I-5 is the least of your worries.
And we're going to leave it right there. Because, you know,
cut
I
that
mean,
part
California is one state that I wouldn't mind being banned from because I don't ever want to go there anyway. But, you know, it's what it is.
Yeah, we're cutting that part out.
I hope so. I mean, I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but we want California listeners too. But
Well, dude, all the people that are normal in California, and by normal I mean like us, have left California.
yeah, but
Dude, Sylvester
have more
Stallone
listeners.
packed
We
up
have-
his entire
we have-
family and moved to Florida.
I know, but we have more listeners in Seattle than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, but Seattle's not,
Not
in
even
California.
in Florida. Well, every city in Florida, we probably have more in Florida, but one isolated, one specific.
I know, and it
city,
surprises me that Seattle is looking.
I know. But anyway, all that's
Anyway,
getting
moving
cut
on. Let's finish this.
Yeah, we're almost.
To quote our friend Mark from The Hat, I'm getting weary.
You're weary. Later on, May 28, 1969, a warrant was served. And when the police arrived, the neighbor said they had just taken off and they were headed for I-5. An all-points bulletin was issued for them. They didn't want him crossing into Washington State, which is very close to Portland, if you aren't familiar with the geography. But they definitely didn't want him getting into Canada. So they located the car quickly. They pulled it over. Darcy, that's freaking amazing to me. They
got him.
They caught him. They caught him before he crossed into Washington State.
Yeah.
We're only talking. I mean, we're only.
Dude, it's a drive to go from Portland to not Seattle.
It's right across the river. You're in Vancouver, Washington, right across the river.
It's further than that, dude. Because we used to do that. We used to do. I've done that drive, dude. I've sat in the back of a truck for 4 fucking hours going to fucking Seattle, going to Washington State.
Not from Portland.
Yeah, from Portland.
Because as soon as you cross that fucking river in Portland, you're in Washington State, Vancouver, Washington.
All right, if you say so.
I've been there.
I don't know. Maybe I've been Mandela affected, and I just remember it different.
No, the only thing separating Portland, Oregon, from Vancouver, Washington, is the river.
If you say so.
I do. I was there in 2018.
All right, then.
But they located the car quickly and pulled it over. Darcy was driving. Both kids were in the front seat, the front passenger seat.
All right.
They found Jerry hiding under a blanket in the back seat. He was
They'll
arrested.
never know I'm here. It'll be fine.
Yeah. He was arrested when they strip searched him. He was wearing women's underwear.
All right.
What do you think he said?
Oh my God.
To explain it. What do you think he said?
So I can't even guess at this point anymore.
No, I've got sensitive skin down there, and I've got to wear, like soft.
Yeah, I never would.
stuff
I
like
never
women's
would have guessed that. Yeah, there's no way that would have been my guess.
So Jerry made his phone call. Darcy told him to burn all of his pictures and all of the women's clothes that he had. He had actually told her not to go into the attic of the house because there was rats in it.
Oh,
But that's
no.
where he kept his stash of like women's clothes.
All right.
But, yeah, there's rats in it. Well, if there's rats in it, why don't you get them out? Because rats can come down from the attic into the rest of your house. You know?
Well, you know, a normal sane person would think that, but
Right. But she burned a couple of the pictures and everything, but not all of them. Police recovered what they could, and Darcy was arrested, and she was charged with murder. They thought that at very least she was an accomplice.
yep.
Stovall, rock star. He tried a good cop measure in Jerry's interrogation, and it worked.
Okay.
He started off just like, "What kind of women do you like?" And he's just like talking. He starts talking about shoes. He starts talking about how he likes these young women. He's like, yeah. But before too long, Jerry was spilling the beans.
Oh. All right.
Police found a photo of one of the women that he had killed up on that hoist that he had.
Yeah.
He had put it. It's not clear which woman that it was, but he had put a mirror under the floor under her, and he had taken a picture of the mirror showing her from the bottom, like a very sadistic upskirt.
Yeah, I got you.
But his face was clearly in the reflection from the mirror in the photo.
Shit, really?
Yeah. It's gotta be the dumbest thing.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Short of BTK and his floppy disk.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay.
Oh my god. But
Jesus.
damn.
Fuck.
It's just Jerry fled. He wished that he could have fled.
Right,
But,
he wished he could flee. He wished he was a race car driver.
He pled not guilty by reason of insanity.
All right.
It was determined that he was in fact sane. He had an above average IQ, and so he stood trial. He was convicted of all 4 murders, as well as the 2 attempted kidnappings. He got 3 life sentences with no parole, which he appealed multiple times. Each one got denied. And it got to the point to where he was like appealing like all the time. And it's just like, you can't appeal.
You're out of appeals, motherfucker.
No, you can't appeal unless we decide that you can appeal. Unless a panel decides that you can appeal.
Yeah, you only get so many.
Yeah. So he wrote many letters accusing Oregon of conspiring against. I haven't done bad this episode.
No.
I haven't. There's been a couple, but I haven't really done bad this episode. But
anyway.
He wrote many letters accusing Oregon of conspiring against him. It's got the grammar of a BTK poem. Yeah, we'll link to it. It's worth reading. If this were a 2-part, I would read it. But this is a very, very long 1-part.
Yeah.
Darcy was found not guilty, and she and the kids changed their names and disappeared. And you know what? I mean, I don't think that she was complicit in the murders.
Nah.
But I do think that she knew that shit was going on.
She had to know something, yeah.
And because of the fact that she's just so, like, brainwashed by this dude, even though she basically just, like, cut him off and everything, it's still her husband.
Yeah.
Look at the time frame that it was in.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, she saw some things. She probably, she probably did not see a body, but she definitely had to have known that he was up to some shit.
Like, where are you getting all these women's clothes from?
Yeah.
I've seen.
So, but whatever. She was found not guilty.
Well,
yeah, and I mean, she was charged, but she was found not guilty. There was a witness in the case that was just like, I saw her helping, helping Jerry carry a body into the house. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
It was just somebody like trying to get there.
There 15 minutes.
Yeah, but it actually made it into court. She was just like, and the defense attorney just shot it down. It was fucking brilliant how how she did it. It was just like, I've been in your house, taking pictures. How could you have seen it when there's like evergreen hedge between your house and theirs? I mean, yeah, but I mean,
the My Cousin Vinny defense.
Yeah, but still, I mean, Darcy compartmentalized.
Oh yeah,
shit. She was going along to get along. Did she know something was going on? She probably didn't know that he was actually killing people.
No,
but she did know that he was into some freaky ass shit.
Yeah, right. There'd be pictures of her all over the internet.
Yeah, right.
If there was internet,
but at the same time, I mean, there's. I don't know. I don't know what I think about her. You know,
yeah.
It's just like, I don't think that she was complicit in the killings.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that she knows more than she's letting on to.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, but
who cares? She was not guilty. She took off, hopefully raised their kids to be normal, fucking humans.
Yeah, and I'm getting to that, but also she was his toy from day one.
Mm-hmm.
From the moment they met. So it's just like I don't know. I really don't. I don't think that she was complicit. I don't think that she knew every freaking detail that was going on. I do think that she knew something.
Yeah. All right.
And she I do think that she compartmentalized, basically buried it deep down. I don't know. I don't know anything. Whatever. But whatever.
Yeah.
But still, she didn't kill anybody. She didn't help kill anybody. I do believe that.
Exactly.
So, but
anyway,
yeah, she was found not guilty. She and her kids got their names changed, or they disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
But the prison guards liked Jerry.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was helpful. Yeah, he wired the prison with TV cable. The inmates, they didn't like him very much.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so.
He was raped and beaten several times.
Mm-hmm.
And on May 28, 2006, Jerry Brudos died of aggressive liver cancer.
All right.
At the time of his death, he was the longest serving inmate in all of Oregon.
Wow.
So what do you think? Craziest story we've ever covered? No. That's Michael Malloy.
Yeah. Nothing's gonna top that first one, dude.
No.
But that one's real. That one's a close second to it.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
And that was a lot more recent than Michael Malloy's story was.
Yeah. All right. So when did they catch him again?
1969.
No, what month?
Hold on. God, I gotta go all the way back up. Oh,
You're the one that
just
asked me to do this.
I know. Why didn't you do it?
You told me to wait till the end.
I wanted you to have it ready for me at the end.
All right. Well, the Tate LaBianca murders, the Manson thing, was in August, like August 9th, August 8th through the 10th, somewhere in that area.
All right. Let me go back. It said that he was indicted in June of 69.
Okay.
So the trial was ongoing when the Manson murders happened, and obviously that took the that took the cake.
Yeah, as it would, because Anyway,
Well, it was a cult.
it was a cult.
But anyway, what a crazy freaking story.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. If you hadn't told me, dude, I would say that I'd swear that you were making this shit up, or at least half of it up. Anyway,
Man, I'm good, but I ain't that good. But anyway, thanks a hell of a lot for listening. We appreciate the hell out of it. Like, subscribe, review,
comment
on whatever you can. You can now comment on Spotify, so do that too. Comment on there's YouTube.
Hit the bell, hit the dinger thingy on YouTube, so you know when we post a new video.
Yeah,
if you haven't.
And yeah, seriously. Oh my God, this episode was crazy.
It was. Damn, dude. Yeah.
And
all right.
But anyway, until next week. Later.
Cheers, everybody.